All right. Ready to dive deep into the wild world of menopause.
Let's do it.
We're going to unpack these interesting notes and articles that you sent over
Okay.
about all the physical changes, women experience
Yeah.
during this this stage of life.
Right.
Seems like you're really looking for insights beyond just the hot flashes, right?
Absolutely.
Which we hear about all the time.
Yeah.
But we're going for the head to toe
Yes.
exploration of the often overlooked things,
Absolutely. The lesser known, maybe.
or lesser known,
The
yeah.
hidden secrets.
We're using excerpts from Menopause Chapter 2.pdf,
Okay.
which seems pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's like
Okay.
just many women, they kind of just brush off these like initial subtle changes as just something being off.
Right.
Dry eyes must be the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Itchy skin, new lotion time.
Right, right.
But these seemingly random symptoms can actually be like the first whispers of hormonal shifts.
Okay.
As you enter perimenopause, which is that transitional phase leading up to menopause.
Perimenopause, so that's where the hormonal roller coaster starts, really.
Exactly. That's where it begins. Yeah.
I can see how those early signs could be missed
Yeah.
if you're not, expecting it.
Totally.
It's not like your body sends out a memo
Right.
being like, get ready, hormonal shifts ahead.
Exactly. And the tricky part is that there's no fixed timeline
Right.
or like a one-size-fits-all experience for perimenopause.
Mm,
Some women barely notice a blip,
right.
and other women feel like their bodies are undergoing a complete system reboot.
Wow.
But, even if your journey is smooth sailing,
Yeah.
knowing what to look out for can be empowering, right?
Yeah, totally.
You want to feel prepared.
So it's like navigating uncharted waters.
Yeah.
But at least we can arm you with a compass and a life vest.
There you go. Exactly.
But let's back up a bit. What exactly is driving these changes?
So in a nutshell, it is the gradual decline of estrogen and progesterone,
Okay.
those powerful hormones produced by your ovaries.
Right.
Starting in your late 30s or 40s, your ovaries start to wind down their production.
Yeah.
Think of it like a slow dimmer switch on these hormones rather than a sudden off switch.
Okay.
And these fluctuations can have like a ripple effect on your entire body, influencing everything from your eyes to your bones.
So let's break down some of these estrogen-related changes.
Okay.
You had mentioned dry eyes earlier. What's the connection there?
Yeah, so it's fascinating, actually. Did you know your tear ducts have estrogen receptors?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so when estrogen levels dip, those receptors aren't as stimulated,
Wow.
which can impact tear production and lead to dry, irritated eyes.
Oh, wow.
You might even find that your contact lenses feel less comfortable.
Wow. I had no idea our tear ducts were in on the hormonal game.
Right.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is.
It really is.
And speaking of unexpected places, hormones impact.
Yes.
Let's talk about facial hair.
Okay.
It's a common concern for many women
Absolutely.
as they transition into menopause.
It's called hirsutism.
Okay.
Those pesky, coarse, dark hairs that can crop up on the chin, upper lip, cheeks.
Right.
And it all comes down to that shifting hormonal balance.
Okay.
As estrogen declines, the relative influence of androgens, the male hormones, increases.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while both men and women produce androgens,
Right.
this hormonal shift during menopause can lead to this excess hair growth.
So it's like a hormonal tug of war.
Yes,
And in some cases, those androgens gain the upper hand.
precisely.
Okay.
Now, while we're on the topic of those powerful hormones,
Yeah.
let's address a big one. Hot flashes.
Ah, yes. Hot flashes. Those sudden waves of intense heat.
Yes.
Practically synonymous with menopause?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is it really as sudden as it seems?
It can feel like someone cranked up the thermostat out of nowhere, right?
Really?
It's thought to be linked to the hypothalamus, the part of your brain that regulates body temperature.
Okay.
Imagine your hypothalamus is like a finely tuned thermostat,
Right.
but with fluctuating estrogen levels,
Yeah.
it can get a little sensitive.
Oh, well.
Even a small change in your core body temperature can trigger an overreaction,
Wow.
leading to that sudden flush of heat, sweating, and even heart palpitations.
So it's like our internal thermostat is experiencing a mini meltdown.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
And these mini meltdowns can be triggered by all sorts of things. A warm room, stress, spicy foods,
Oh, wow.
even a sip of that hot cup of coffee.
Right.
It's different for everyone.
Wow.
And those fluctuating hormones
Yeah.
aren't just messing with your internal thermostat, they're
Yeah.
impacting other systems as well.
Okay. Let's talk about your bones.
Okay, bone health.
Yeah.
We've all heard about osteoporosis and the increased risk of fractures as we age,
Mm-hmm.
especially for women.
Right.
Is there a connection to these hormonal shifts we've been discussing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Estrogen isn't just about reproduction.
Right.
It's a key player in maintaining bone density.
Okay. Yeah.
Think of estrogen as a regulator,
Okay.
ensuring a healthy balance between your bone-building cells,
Mm-hmm.
which are called osteoblasts,
Okay.
and the cells that break down bone,
Right.
which are called osteoclasts.
It's such a constant construction and demolition project
It is a balancing act.
going on in our bones with estrogen as the foreman,
Yeah.
keeping things in check.
Precisely.
Okay.
Now, as estrogen declines during menopause,
Yeah. Those bone-building cells don't get the same support.
Mm-hmm.
This can tip the scales towards greater bone breakdown, leading to decreased bone density and a higher risk of osteoporosis.
so that explains the increased fracture risk.
Yes.
What can we do to protect those bones during and after menopause?
Well, you can think of it as a two-pronged approach.
Okay.
Support and stimulation.
Okay.
First, ensure you're getting enough calcium and vitamin D.
Right.
The building blocks for strong bones,
Mhm.
think dairy products, leafy greens,
Okay.
fortified foods. You might even want to chat with your doctor about supplements.
Right.
And then there's stimulation
Okay.
through weight-bearing exercise.
Weight bearing. So that's anything that puts a bit of healthy stress
Exactly.
on your bones.
Yes.
Like walking, dancing,
Mhm.
or even just climbing stairs.
Exactly.
Oh.
These activities send a signal to your bones to keep building and strengthening. And don't underestimate the power of strength training.
Okay.
Lifting weights a couple of times a week can do wonders for bone density.
So support your bones with the right nutrients.
Yes.
Stimulate them with movement.
Yes.
Got it.
There you go.
Is there anything else we should be keeping an eye on?
It's remarkable how interconnected everything is in the body.
Right.
We've talked about how estrogen affects your eyes, your skin, your bones,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're moving on to another crucial system,
Okay.
your cardiovascular system.
Or heart health.
Exactly.
Okay.
Estrogen isn't just a bone and temperature regulator.
Mm.
It also plays a role in cardiovascular health. Before menopause, estrogen acts like a shield for your heart.
Oh, wow.
It helps to keep your blood vessels flexible,
Mm-hmm.
allowing them to expand and contract easily.
Okay.
It also helps regulate cholesterol levels
Okay.
and may even prevent plaque buildup in the arteries.
So it's like having a natural defense system for our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And as estrogen declines,
Yes,
we lose some of that protection.
that's right.
Okay.
As estrogen levels dip during and after menopause,
Yeah.
the risk of heart disease increases.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crucial time to be proactive about your heart health.
So how do we do that?
Right.
Besides waving a magic wand
Right.
and keeping our estrogen levels high forever?
While we haven't figured out that magic wand just yet,
Okay.
the good news is that many of the things that are good for your heart are things you can control.
Okay.
Think of it as creating a heart-healthy lifestyle,
Okay.
maintaining a healthy weight,
Mm-hmm.
eating a balanced diet that's rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains,
Mm-hmm.
getting regular exercise,
Mhm.
managing stress,
Right.
and of course, not smoking.
So it's about doubling down on those.
It really is.
Healthy habits we already know are good for us.
Exactly.
And working with our doctors.
And don't hesitate to loop in your doctor.
Yeah.
They can help assess your individual risk factors
Right.
and guide you on any additional steps you might need to take.
Okay. We've covered bone health, heart health,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't forget about another common concern for women going through menopause.
Yes.
Weight gain.
Yes.
Is there a connection to those hormonal shifts?
Yes?
Or is it just a coincidence?
It's definitely not a coincidence.
Okay.
Weight gain during menopause is incredibly common,
Mm-hmm.
and those hormonal changes play a significant role.
Okay.
As estrogen levels decline,
Yeah.
your metabolism tends to slow down,
Mm-hmm.
and to add to the challenge, you
Right.
naturally lose muscle mass as you age,
Right.
which also contributes to a slower metabolism.
So it's like our bodies are working against us on multiple fronts.
In a way, yes,
Yeah.
but it's not an impossible battle.
Okay.
Think of it as a call to be more mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Are you as active as you used to be?
Right.
Has your diet changed?
Mm-hmm.
These are things you have the power to adjust.
So while those hormonal shifts might be influencing things behind the scenes, we're not powerless.
No.
We can take charge by making healthier choices. Okay, on to a topic that I'm sure many women going through menopause can relate to. Sleep.
Yes.
I hear a lot of complaints about insomnia
Yes.
and those dreaded night sweats.
Right.
What's the connection to menopause?
Ah, sleep disruptions, another hallmark of menopause.
Right.
And you guessed it,
Mhm.
those fluctuating hormones are often the main culprit.
Okay.
Estrogen plays a role in regulating your circadian rhythm,
Right.
that internal clock that dictates your sleep-wake cycles
Okay.
as estrogen levels fluctuate.
Yeah.
So does your circadian rhythm.
So that explains why you
Lots-
might suddenly find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
with no sign of falling back asleep.
Exactly.
In there.
And then, of course, there are the infamous night sweats.
Oh, yes.
Remember those hot flashes we talked about? They don't discriminate between day and night.
Night sweats.
Ugh,
The ultimate sleep disruptor.
the worst.
Who needs an alarm clock when you've got those to jolt you awake?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're waking up drenched in sweat multiple times a night,
Yeah.
it's no wonder you're feeling exhausted. It can really take a toll on your energy levels.
Oh, how do we tame those night sweats?
Right.
And get a decent night's sleep during menopause?
There are several strategies that can help.
Okay.
Think about optimizing your sleep environment.
Okay.
Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet.
Okay.
Invest in breathable bedding. Maybe even consider a bedside fan.
Creating a sleep sanctuary.
Yes.
I love it.
Right.
What about those pre-sleep habits?
Those are crucial too,
Yeah.
just like you would at any age. Try to establish a regular sleep schedule.
Okay.
Go to bed and wake up around the same time each day,
Okay.
even on weekends if you can.
Right.
And be mindful of what you consume in the hours leading up to bedtime.
You mean avoid those late night caffeine and alcohol indulgences?
Exactly.
Okay.
While a glass of wine might seem relaxing, it can actually disrupt your sleep later in the night.
Okay.
And don't underestimate the power of managing stress.
Easier said than done.
I know, right?
But stress can definitely mess with your sleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, explore relaxation techniques like deep breathing exercises or meditation.
Okay.
A warm bath before bed can also work wonders.
It's about creating a calming pre-sleep routine.
Exactly.
To signal to your body that it's time to wind down.
You got it.
Okay.
And if you've tried these lifestyle tweaks and you're still struggling,
Yeah.
don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. They might suggest cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia,
Okay.
or in some cases, even short-term medication.
So there are options available if those night sweats and sleep disruptions
There are.
wreaking havoc on your life.
Absolutely.
You don't have to suffer in silence.
You don't.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Bone health, heart health, weight management, and sleep.
We have.
Are there any other areas where these hormonal changes might be impacting our bodies?
There are.
In subtle ways?
We've touched on skin and hair changes,
Right.
but it's worth diving a little deeper.
Okay.
We often associate acne with those teenage years, but some women experience breakouts for the first time during menopause.
Wait, acne.
Yeah.
But aren't our teenage years long behind us?
You would think so, right?
What's going on there?
You guessed it.
Hormones.
Hormones are back to wreak havoc.
Oh.
As estrogen levels decline, the relative dominance of androgens,
Right.
those male hormones we talked about earlier, can increase. And androgens, as you might remember, can stimulate oil production in the skin.
And excess oil can lead to clogged pores, which then leads to those unwanted breakouts.
Yes.
It's like our skin is reliving its teenage years.
That's a great way to put it.
Oh, man.
But don't worry. Adult acne is treatable.
Okay.
There are effective over-the-counter and prescription options available.
That's reassuring to know.
Yeah.
So if you're noticing those blemishes popping up, don't despair. Talk to your dermatologist.
Yes.
They can help you get those breakouts under control.
Exactly.
And speaking of things we've touched on earlier, remember those pesky hairs popping up in unexpected places?
Right.
Well, on the flip side,
Yes.
hair loss is another common experience during menopause.
It is.
Wait, so it's not just about excess hair in some places.
Right.
It's about hair thinning as well.
Yes.
What's the deal with that?
It's all part of that intricate hormonal dance we've been discussing.
Right.
Estrogen isn't just involved in bone health and temperature control.
Right.
It's also a key player in hair growth. As estrogen levels decline, hair can become thinner, especially on the scalp.
Yeah.
Some women even experience a receding hairline
Wow.
or notice more hair shedding than usual.
That's quite a balancing act our bodies are doing.
It is.
Makes you wonder why these changes happen in such different ways.
Right.
What can be done about hair loss during menopause?
The good news is that there are options available for hair loss too.
Okay.
If it's really bothering you, talk to your doctor or a dermatologist.
Okay.
They might recommend medications that can help stimulate hair growth.
So there might be ways to give those hair follicles a much-needed boost.
Exactly.
And in the meantime, your hairstylist can work their magic too.
Exactly.
A good haircut can do wonders for camouflaging thinning hair.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about accepting these changes.
Right.
It's about knowing that there are things you can do to address them and feel your best.
Exactly.
All right, we've covered a lot of different physical changes that women might experience during menopause.
Yes.
It sounds like it really is a whole body experience.
It is.
Affecting everything from our energy levels and sleep to our bones, heart, skin, and hair.
It's true. Menopause impacts so many systems in the body.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that these changes are a natural part of life.
Right.
And knowledge is power.
So the more you understand about what's happening,
Yes.
the better equipped you'll be to manage those changes and advocate for your health.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we move on to answering some specific questions from our listener,
Okay.
let's talk about how to navigate this journey.
Okay.
You've mentioned some lifestyle adjustments and treatment options along the way, but what are some general tips for women going through menopause?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say be kind to yourself.
Okay.
This is a time of significant change, and it's crucial to prioritize self-care.
Self-care.
Yes.
That means taking time for yourself.
Yes.
Doing things that make you feel good.
Real.
Right.
Exactly. It looks different for everyone. Maybe it's a long, relaxing bath, a walk in nature, reading a good book, catching up with friends, or simply saying no to extra commitment.
Right.
Whatever helps you recharge and de-stress.
Yeah.
Make time for it.
So pamper yourself.
Yes.
Prioritize those feel-good activities.
Yes.
And be patient with your body.
Yes. Patience is key.
Easier said than done.
I know, right?
But great advice nonetheless.
Your body is adjusting to these hormonal shifts, and it takes time. There will be good days and not so good days, and that's okay.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
You're not.
Don't underestimate the power of connecting with others who understand what you're going through. Talk to your friends, family, or a therapist.
Yes.
Join a support group online or in person.
Oh, great.
Sharing your experiences and realizing that you're not alone can make a world of difference.
It can be so helpful.
It's about normalizing these experiences
It is.
and breaking the silence around menopause.
You got it.
Okay, we've covered a lot of information today,
We have.
and I'm sure our listeners' head is spinning.
A little bit, yeah.
Before we move on to our last section, where we'll tackle those specific questions,
Okay.
what's one key takeaway you want them to remember about managing menopause?
I'd say listen to your body.
Okay.
Pay attention to the signals it's sending you. And if something feels off, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. You are your best advocate.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
Your body is your best guide.
It is.
Now, we've talked about some of the challenging aspects of menopause,
Oh, we have.
but it's not all doom and gloom, right?
Absolutely not.
For many women, menopause is a time of liberation and self-discovery.
It is.
Really? In what ways?
Well, for one thing, there are no more periods.
Okay, that's a big plus.
It is.
Yeah.
And many women find that their sex drive actually increases after menopause.
Interesting. Why is that?
It could be due to a combination of factors, such as hormonal changes, increased confidence, and simply feeling more comfortable and liberated in their bodies.
That's fantastic.
Right.
So menopause is not the end of your sex life.
No.
It can actually be a new beginning.
Exactly.
And for many women, this stage of life is marked by a renewed sense of purpose and a focus on personal growth and fulfillment.
Yes.
It's about embracing this new chapter and redefining what it means to be a woman in midlife.
You've said it perfectly.
Okay, so while menopause comes with its share of challenges, it's also a time of opportunity and growth.
It definitely is.
Now, in our last section, we're going to address a few more specific questions
Okay.
that you, our listener, submitted.
I'm ready.
All right, let's dive into those listener questions. First up, I've heard that menopause can cause hair to grow in new places, but I'm also noticing my hair thinning. What's the deal with this hair confusion?
Yeah.
It's like our bodies couldn't quite decide which direction to go.
It's true. Menopause can lead to both excess hair growth and hair loss.
Okay.
And as we've discussed, it all comes down to those shifting hormone levels,
Right.
particularly the decrease in estrogen and the relative increase in androgens.
So it's that hormonal tug of war again,
Yes.
with different parts of our body reacting in completely opposite ways.
Exactly. Those androgens might be encouraging new hair growth on your face, while the overall decline in estrogen can cause hair on your scalp to thin. It's like your body is playing a game of hair redistribution, but not always in the ways we'd prefer.
Definitely not the most fun game.
Yeah.
So what can you do about it? Besides, perhaps investing into a good pair of tweezers and some volumizing shampoo.
Well, there are actually several treatments available for both excess hair growth and hair loss.
Okay.
For excess hair, options include laser hair removal, electrolysis, or waxing.
Okay.
And if you're looking for a more long-term solution, there are prescription medications that can help block androgen production.
Okay. So there are ways to gain control of those unruly hairs. What about hair loss? Are there ways to address that too?
There are. Some medications can help stimulate hair growth, and there are also topical treatments you can apply directly to your scalp. In certain cases, hair transplantation might be an option as well. It's best to talk to your doctor or a dermatologist to see what approach might be right for you.
It's reassuring to know there are options no matter which way your hair decides to go during menopause. Okay, next question. I'm experiencing terrible joint pain, and I'm wondering if it's related to menopause. Is this a common symptom?
Joint pain is a very common complaint during menopause.
Okay.
And yes, it often goes back to those declining estrogen levels.
Right.
You see, estrogen plays a role in reducing inflammation and keeping joints lubricated.
So those aching joints might not just be from getting older. It could be a direct result of those hormonal shifts.
Precisely. As estrogen declines, you might experience increased inflammation and stiffness in the joints. For some women, the pain can be quite severe and impact their daily lives.
That sounds debilitating. So what can be done about it?
There are several ways to manage joint pain during menopause. Gentle exercise like walking or swimming can help keep joints moving and reduce stiffness. Over-the-counter pain relievers, such as ibuprofen or naproxen, can also provide relief.
So keep those joints moving, and don't hesitate to reach for an over-the-counter pain reliever when needed.
Exactly. And if those measures aren't enough or if the pain is severe, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. They might recommend prescription medications or other therapies like physical therapy or acupuncture.
Okay, great advice. Let's move on to our final listener question. Is there anything I can do to prepare for menopause? Any tips for making this transition smoother?
That's a fantastic question. I think the best way to prepare for menopause is to arm yourself with knowledge. The more you understand about what to expect, the better equipped you'll be to navigate those changes.
Knowledge is power.
Right. Absolutely. And it's never too early to start adopting those healthy habits we've been talking about.
Right.
Eating a balanced diet, getting regular exercise, finding healthy ways to manage stress, and saying no to smoking. These are all things that can make a world of difference, not just during menopause, but throughout your life.
So it's about building a solid foundation for your health, which will serve you well as you transition into menopause and beyond.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to loop in your doctor. They can answer your questions, address any concerns you might have, and provide guidance and support along the way.
Great advice. Embrace this new chapter. Be kind to yourself. Seek support when you need it. And remember that you are not alone on this journey.
Beautifully said.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the physical changes of menopause. We've covered a lot of ground today, from those early whispers of hormonal shifts to the more noticeable changes that can happen during the menopausal transition. But remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration. There's so much more to discover about this stage of life, and there are incredible resources available to support you along the way. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep thriving.